Today we read Luke chapter 1, verse 46 to 55, and we celebrate Mary, Mother of the Lord. And I hope many of you will have the opportunity to come into the cathedral today. We'll open the Lely Chapel for those who would like to pray there and enjoy the glorious decoration and the windows depicting her life. Don't forget also to take a look at the 15th century Flemish wooden sculpture of the Dormition of Mary, Mary on her deathbed, surrounded by the disciples, as she passes quietly, gently and naturally into the next world. Today's passage, Mary's song, which we know as the Magnificat from the opening words in Latin, is part of the regular service of evening prayer. It seems a very long time since we heard it sung in the cathedral each evening in choral evensong. The last one was mid-March, but we say it each day still. Along with the other canticles or songs in the opening chapters of Luke's Gospel, it forms part of daily worship. Familiarity is a double-edged sword. It's good to have by heart many words from Scripture, a feast, a reservoir of wisdom, guidance and encouragement within, to call to mind at any time, not least in the long, dark, silent hours of the night when we may lie awake. But the possible drawback is that we hardly notice the words anymore or think about their meaning. I've spoken before about the Lord's Prayer in this way and recommended using a different version in order to encounter the words afresh. Perhaps the problem is not so great with the Magnificat, as fewer people attend evening services these days. But when we read it, do we realise quite what it's saying? It's been called a revolutionary charter. The Magnificat speaks of turning everything upside down, of a reversal of usual values and outcomes. The world from a totally different perspective, rather like the Beatitudes. He has brought down the powerful and lifted up the lowly. He has filled the hungry and sent the rich away empty. And why does Mary reach this conclusion that God has done all this? Note the past tense, by the way. Simply because of the choice of her to be the Mother of God. Mary was lowly indeed, a peasant girl, an ordinary person, soon to be disgraced with her premature pregnancy. But now, she says, I will be recognised by generations to come as specially blessed. The Mighty One has done great things for me. Mary's words echo the words of Hannah, which we read in 1 Samuel chapter 2, when she celebrated her unexpected pregnancy. The theme is similar. There's a thread running through the experiences of these two women, and we find it elsewhere in Scripture. The theme of reversal, of human values overturned. Hannah's son was Samuel. And remember how Samuel chose David to be successor to Saul as king, directed by God to the family of Jesse, who had so many sons. Which one was the right one? Samuel pondered. The tallest? No. The oldest? No. The strongest? No. The youngest? The least experienced? The most junior was the one God chose. The way God sees things is often not the way we see them. The way God sees people may not be the way we see them. The ones God honours with special blessings may not be those we think particularly blessed. Countless millions have taken strength from Mary, from her example, her obedience, her trust, her humility, and her vocation in the midst of ordinariness. God calls each of us in our ordinariness. Never think the ordinary do not matter. Perhaps those we tend to discount are the very ones who matter most to God.